We published this story 18 days before Fox News asked about it in the White House briefing room. Here is the full account. 18 days. That is the gap between the wise wolf publishing a documented account of a pattern of dead and missing American scientists connected to classified aerospace, nuclear, and advanced propulsion research, and Fox News standing in the White House briefing room asking Karoline Leavitt about it on camera. Leavitt said she would look into it. Trump called it pretty serious stuff. CNN ran a segment. Newsweek published a timeline. The internet exploded. We published on March 28, 2026. The camera showed up on April 15th. Nobody called. Nobody credited us. This is how independent journalism works. When your operation consists of a former tech finance analyst with blood pressure his doctor would describe as a topic we need to revisit, a journalism student who takes the bus, and a graphic designer who produces extraordinary work and strongly prefers that his name not appear in print, a preference we are respecting here in full. We are a small outfit. We are also apparently 18 days faster than the American broadcast media when it comes to noticing that the people who know how to track incoming objects from space keep turning up dead. So let us tell you what we found. Michael David Hicks worked at NASA's Jet Propulsion Laboratory from 1998 to 2022. He contributed to more than 80 peer-reviewed scientific papers. He worked on the DART project, which was humanity's first operational test of whether we could redirect an asteroid on a collision course with Earth. Planetary defense. The job title is not a metaphor. He died July 30th, 2023. No public cause of death, no autopsy details. His daughter told CNN that as of the day she spoke to them, no federal agency and no elected official had contacted her to ask a single question about her father's death. Frank Mywald was a principal investigator at JPL, the guy who ran major Earth observation and space instrumentation programs and won multiple NASA awards doing it. He died July 4th, 2024 in Los Angeles. His cause of death was not made public either. Two JPL scientists, both dead within 13 months of each other, both with causes of death the public is apparently not entitled to know. The July 4th timing is the kind of detail a novelist would cut for being too on the nose. Monica Jacinto Reza was 60 years old, a senior scientist at JPL, and the co-inventor of Mondaloy, which is an advanced rocket alloy that ended American dependence on Russian-manufactured components for critical space launch systems. She invented the material that freed American rockets from Russian supply chains. On June 22, 2025, she was hiking in the Angeles National Forest, 30 feet behind her companion on the trail to Waterman Mountain, smiling and waving. Then she was not there. No trace. A search of the Angeles National Forest turned up nothing. Anthony Chavez worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory for decades before retiring in 2017. On May 8, 2025, at 78 years old, he left his home on foot. His family told police it was completely out of character. He has not been found. Melissa Casius worked at Los Alamos National Laboratory as an administrative worker with security clearances. She disappeared in the summer of 2025, leaving her home without her wallet or her phone. She has not been found. Amy Eskridge co-founded the Institute for Exotic Science in Huntsville, Alabama, which she established specifically to research anti-gravity technology. She described it in a 2020 interview as a public-facing persona to disclose anti-gravity technology. In the years before her death, she said on camera and in text messages that she believed she was being targeted by a directed energy weapon. She said her life was in danger. She died in June 2022 from a self-inflicted gunshot wound. In 2026, footage and text messages resurfaced. People started asking questions. Nuno Loureiro was the director of MIT's Plasma Science and Fusion Center, one of the foremost theoretical physicists working on plasma behavior in fusion reactors and astrophysical systems. He was shot multiple times at his home in Brookline, Massachusetts, in December 2025 by a gunman who also killed 2 students at Brown University. The shooter was a former classmate from Portugal who then died by suicide. The explanation is tidy. The target's professional specialty, plasma physics and fusion energy, is the same field that keeps appearing on this list. Carl Grillmeyer was a Caltech astrophysicist who worked on NASA's NEO-WISE and NEO Surveyor missions. NEO stands for Near Earth Object. His job, to be direct about it, was helping humanity catalog things approaching us from space. He was shot and killed on his front porch at 6 o'clock in the morning on February 16, 2026. A suspect was arrested. No established motive, no apparent prior connection between the shooter and the man he drove to a scientist's house at dawn to kill.
Hello out there in internet land. I'm Lily, the editor at The Wise Wolf, and I just wanted to steal a moment of your time to urge you to subscribe to our god-awful channel. Otherwise, my professor is going to press charges for breaking into his office to shoot this clip. Thanks. Bye now.
General William Neal McCaslin commanded the Air Force Research Laboratory at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. Wright-Patterson is the facility that has been named in sworn congressional testimony and by multiple former intelligence officials as a site where non-human materials recovered from crash sites are or were stored and studied. McCaslin oversaw classified space weapons programs. He was connected to the same advanced materials research Monica Reza worked on. On February 26, 2026, he walked out of his home in Albuquerque, New Mexico, without his phone, without his prescription glasses, and with a .38 caliber revolver. Jason Thomas was a pharmaceutical researcher at Novartis working on cancer treatments. He disappeared December 12, 2025. His body was recovered from Lake Quannapoit in Massachusetts in March 2026. No foul play suspected. Matthew James Sullivan was a former Air Force intelligence officer who had filed as a federal UFO whistleblower. He died in 2024 before he could testify in court. The technology they had in common. Here is where the official explanation runs into a problem that statistics cannot fully solve. The statisticians will tell you, and they are not entirely wrong, that 700,000 Americans hold top-secret clearances in aerospace and nuclear fields. When you apply standard mortality and missing persons rates to a population that large, you should expect a certain number of deaths and disappearances in any given window. This is a real argument. It deserves acknowledgement. What it does not explain is the clustering. These are not deaths and disappearances distributed randomly across all aerospace and nuclear specialties. The people on this list worked specifically in asteroid deflection, plasma physics, fusion energy, advanced rocket alloys, anti-gravity research, near-Earth object tracking, classified space weapons, and the research laboratory where the United States government allegedly stores materials it has never publicly acknowledged recovering. That is not a random sample of the cleared community. That is a very specific slice of it. Amy Eskridge was publicly building an institute to research anti-gravity and telling anyone who would listen that someone was trying to kill her before she died of a supposed self-inflicted gunshot. General McCaslin ran the research lab attached to the most famous alleged crash recovery site in American history and walked into the desert with a revolver and no phone. Monica Reza invented the alloy that makes American rockets independent of Russian components and disappeared between one footstep and the next on the trail she had hiked before. Nuno Loureiro was one of the most advanced plasma physicists on Earth. Carl Grillmeyer spent his career cataloging what is coming toward us from space. These are not random scientists. These are the specific scientists you would need if you were trying to understand, track, reverse engineer, or defend against a technology that did not come from a human civilization. Whether you believe that framing or not, sit with the specialty list for a moment. Anti-gravity, plasma physics, asteroid deflection, advanced materials for space vehicles, near-Earth object surveillance, the facility where the recovered debris allegedly lives. If you were designing a research program to prepare for contact with something non-human, you would fund exactly these fields. And if someone wanted to dismantle that preparation quietly, these are exactly the people you would start with. The part where we tell you what we think. We are not going to tell you what happened to these people. We do not know. Nobody outside of a very small number of rooms knows, and those rooms are not taking our calls. What we will tell you is what we observed. We observed that the American broadcast media, with every resource available to it, did not connect these names into a single story until 18 days after two people and an unnamed graphic designer with excellent taste in design software did it on a Substack. We observed that the fields represented by the dead and missing are not random. We observed that at least one of them was publicly warning she was being targeted before she died. We observed that a retired 4-star general who commanded the facility most associated with non-human materials recovery walked out of his house without his glasses and has not come back. We observed all of that, and we published it, and we are still waiting for anyone in mainstream media to mention where the story came from. The question we are leaving you with is not a rhetorical one. If the people responsible for tracking, intercepting, and understanding the most advanced non-conventional technology on the planet were being systematically removed, what would that look like? Compare your answer to what we have described above and tell us in the comments whether you think those two things match. We read every comment. We are genuinely asking. If this story matters to you, share it. Every time a Wise Wolf article gets shared, the algorithm notices, and more people find us before the cables do. A paid subscription helps Lily finish her journalism degree without debt and keeps the lights on while we dig up the next story that will not get credited for 18 days. If the budget is tight, sharing costs nothing and helps more than you know. Help keep the Wise Wolf howling.